This is the fourth screencast in a series discussing debugging in Matlab. In this screencast, I'll discuss debugging code with input lists and output lists and using sections in your code as you would write more advanced code. As you begin to use Matlab more extensively, you will create functions that use input and return values. Here I've taken my code for demo vector and I've modified it so it requires input of the two position vectors, and it returns b and bdiff to either the workspace or to the calling function. To run this code interactively, I must have vectors r1 and r2 defined in the workspace, or I must specify the values when I run the code. I have inserted values onto the clipboard, so let me paste them. One option for running the code is to copy the function statement and paste it in the command window. I copy everything except the words function, and I can paste them down here. And R1 and R2 will be taken in this case from the workspace. My function call has returned b and bdiff to the workspace, but it's not showing automatically. Let me press F5 to refresh. Another option for debugging is to use run configurations. They appear underneath the run button in the ribbon. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it up here. It will try to auto-complete, but it only puts in the demo vector part. If I want to have b and bdiff return to the workspace, I need to put them in the command line also. And then I just press enter to run with this configuration. It didn't clear. Let me clear. And then I can run with this configuration. You can see that I forgot about R1 and R2. Let me get them from my history. I can just drag those over here, and then I can run with that configuration. Once a command has been entered, it will continue to be available. If I want to make minor changes, I can right-click and edit the run command line. I do not need to enter variables here for input. I can convert these to actual numerical values. I'm going to pause the screencast and do that. So now I've inserted numerical values for my two positions, and I just press enter. I can do this also within the run configuration option. The final topic that I'd like to address in this screencast is using sections within your code. To create sections, you simply use a double % sign. Let me take a moment. I'll pause the screencast and create a couple sections in my code. Okay, I've set up a couple sections, and you can see that the top section is highlighted right now. Matlab calls these sections cells. When code is divided into several sections using these double %, you can execute individual sections of the code using these buttons up here. I won't take time in the screencast to show you, but basically you can step through your code one cell at a time. Setting up your code into cells is also a good idea when you want to present your results by publishing them. Matlab provides a publishing utility, and you can create different types of output. By setting up the cells, it will automatically create headers where you have set up the cells. Matlab does provide output to Microsoft Word, but I've found that to be very clumsy, and it's best to output it to HTML, and then once the HTML is created, Microsoft Word can open the HTML file, and the individual figures can be converted to graphics, and then you have one composite document with all the embedded figures that you need.